So we're doing this demo here to see which angle is best to fire our cannon at in order to see what angle exactly to angle the barrel at so that we can get the maximum distance and height in order to get the farthest launch possible. So we're going to start with 20 degrees, which is pretty low, and we're not going to touch anything else. And basically let's move these out of the way so they don't distract us. But basically, I can't move him, so basically we're going to see which goes the farthest and the highest, and basically we want to get the farthest, because that's our optimal firing shot, I guess you can call it. So let's start with 20, and we're going to increase by increments of 5. So fire. I'm going to actually erase this and lower the speed so that it'll fit on the screen. There. So fire. Okay, so that goes there. Now we're going to increase by 5, so we went up by 5 here. Now this is 25 degrees, so it's just a little farther, and you see that little cross develop there. Now 30. Okay, so now this goes a little farther and a little higher, and you see this cross here is just a little higher than this one and a little farther back. 35, so now we're firing at 35 degrees. And now you see it's starting to narrow down the gaps between the launches, but it's still farther, and it's also higher than the previous launches. So now we're going to go to 40. So it goes higher. Now look at that. It's just a few pixels of space right there. We're going to go to 45, and this is my hypothesis that 45 will be our optimal firing angle. So let's launch. And basically it landed just like a pixel or two a little further than 40. So now we're going to go to 50, which is up by 5. Fire, it's going to go too high, and now if you notice it landed here. So something cool that I've noticed when I've done this in the past is almost a spider web kind of design develops with these blue trails. So we're going to go to 55 and then fire that. And then go to 60. Yep, it's not 560. That would be a weird launch. There. And now you're starting to see it develop here, but not as well as you will once this is done. So 65 now. Here. And so basically these are the optimal heights and distances that these have reached. And you see it's almost a curve developing, which shows we have consistent data, which is always good to have. So now we're going to go to 70, fire, follows the curve, and now a new curve starts to develop. If you see what I'm talking about, almost this like spiderweb vortex kind of thing starts developing with the ranges. And when you see a pattern like that, a consistent pattern, that also indicates that your data is consistent, which is a good indicator. So now we're going to go all the way to 75. Fire goes high. It's the highest shot we've had, but it's also the closest to the cannon it is. You wouldn't want to fire that for your artillery. You'd be landing on your soldiers if that were in battle. So now we're going to launch at 80 degrees. It's going to go higher, but it's not going to go as far as the 45. And now you see these increments start increasing inversely to these increments this way, because before, the farther you get here, these get bigger. The farther you go here, the farther they get smaller. So it's almost that there's a relationship between these, and that'll be proven once we fire these last two shots. There we go. There's this curve, and this curve starting to develop, and then finally the 90, which is a straight vertical shot. There you go. So you get this consistent pattern vortex, which shows consistent data. Geometry can be a very good indicator of consistent data, but not necessarily numerically, because it can just be a little off and your data would be inconsistent. But just looking at it, it looks pretty consistent, and you have these nice curves here which show consistent data, which shows a pattern slowly developing. And so I think we found out that the 45-degree angle shot, let's fire that again. Here, let's clear it. 45 degrees is our optimal shot. So let's fire that. Yeah, nothing's going to get farther than that. which I think was a pretty good shot. And just for fun, let's go to the adult human. Let's launch him at 45 degrees, and let's blast him out of this universe. Fire. Well, there he was. Thank you for watching, and if you learned anything, please let us know, and watch to see our blueprints for our cannon. Okay, so we decided to put our cannon at a 45-degree angle. The barrel will be aimed at a 45-degree angle because we decided, after using the simulation on the website, we determined that it has the farthest height and the farthest distance as compared to others, where the height, if it goes too high, it won't travel far enough and it'll land here short, or if you this way, it'll go like that, but it'll be too short because it won't have enough height to travel. So we determined that this 45-degree angle curve here is the optimal launch angle.
Okay, so we put the barrel in the middle of the tennis can to provide stability, and when we light the match right here, the explosion will be evenly distributed through the barrel. Unlike if we put it anywhere else, then the explosion would have gone everywhere.
Use the duct tape here, 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 and here to both stabilize the cannon and direct the explosion through the barrel.
Is the location of the ethanol. The insertion hole is located here so that the match can combust with the ethanol, and thus the barrel will be able to capture the full potential of the
Decided
explosion.
to remove the metal ring and cap from the top of our barrel and attach it to the back of our base so that we can maximize the combustion reaction by having a cap here and a cap here.
Allie, what are you doing?
I'm raising the arrow.
Why?
Arrow.
So I can freaking roll.
It's an Arab.
You ready? I'm gonna hit you with this, and it's gonna be really funny when you start bleeding.
Did you just
Cat.
did you just threaten him?
Yes, I did. Are you videoing?
Yes.
I'm glad.
Good.
I feel my hip. Help! Medicare. Oh God!
And then there were 3.
I fell on this.
No, that's Mr. Kelly's. Okay.
This is a blooper now?
Are you still videoing?
Yes.
Okay, well, end it.
Quiet study.
What was that? That was just awkward.